Yeah, potentially. I mean, you look at this Arsenal side and every single season, when Saliba got injured last year and the year before Gabriel, it was like, I do think Arsenal are more equipped now. Calafiori's had a good season this year. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly's been quite hard done by to not be playing as much. Yeah, he's played a little bit more of late. And I said this to you, didn't I, Tom, in the break, that if Miles Lewis-Skelly, he's 18, 19 years old, right, still so young, came into the Arsenal side last year and did fantastically well. This year, at times, he's been out of the team. And I think, if he wants to think about, he's got loads of World Cups ahead of him, but if he's not starting for Arsenal, he's probably not going to go to the World Cup. And this is a player that Thomas Tuchel likes a lot, but he's not playing for Arsenal. Now, Timber can play at centre-back position as well. Yes, he doesn't offer the same height and the presence as a Gabriel, but I think Ben White, Arsenal are more equipped now.
Yeah, Capie as well.
Exactly. They've got more equipped. I think they're more equipped. Yes, it's not Gabriel, and it will give, other centre-forwards a little bit more of a boost when they're not having to go up against Saliba and Gabriel. They're probably two of the best centre-backs in the world. But I do think Arsenal have that strength in depth now. Now, Odegaard has had a number of injuries in the last couple of seasons, and I think Arsenal have kind of found a way to play without him at times. But I love Odegaard. I remember my dad saying to me when he signed, he's like Dennis Bergkamp, darling. I said, Dad, what are you talking about? And actually, when you watch him, the way he manipulates the ball, always looking over his shoulder, always looking, thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. And I do think Martin Odegaard is a massive loss if he doesn't play. But then Arsenal have got, Zubimendi coming in there, Declan Rice. We haven't even spoken about Declan Rice. What a player he is. So, you look at this Arsenal side, I do think they're well equipped. But you list off those injuries, Tom, it's difficult.
North London derby this weekend. Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis, and out where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, scan the QR code here or visit the Sky Sports app for more details. And we're joined by Arsenal fan Toby Parks. Now, welcome, Toby. Now, there's no confirmation, but going back to Saka, there are reports suggesting that he's agreed a new deal. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I mean, there was a time a while ago, just when at the end of the Unai Emery era, where it was all looking a bit bleak. I think the connection between the fans and the club was pretty poor, right? And there was this resurgence. Arteta came in. There was this injection of youth. We had Emile Smith-Rowe coming in and Bukayo Saka, even Martinelli coming in through just at that age group. I know he came from abroad, but there was just an injection of energy and passion in the club that we hadn't seen in a very, very, very long time. Everything was stale. And Saka, forgetting everything that he can deliver on the pitch, which we all know about for England and Arsenal, he is just that cultural figurehead for Arsenal. And I don't think anyone could imagine him being anywhere else other than Arsenal. And he means so much to this club. I think is so inquantifiable. And if he was going to be anywhere else, I can't imagine what it would be like. And,
you're getting emotional
it's
there.
Incredible
Toby,
news.
you're getting emotional at the thought of Saka in another team's kit there. Yeah. In terms of winning the title, by the way, on yesterday's show, we had a live audience. There were 10 fans. We also had Jamie O'Hara in the studio as well. So 11 people were asked the question, will Arsenal win the Premier League? And only one person said yes, and that was the Arsenal fan, which was a big, big surprise to me that was the results of that kind of flash poll that we did. What does that say about your chances of winning the title and the mentality?
It flip-flops every week, doesn't it, really? I mean, at the beginning of the seasons, it was Liverpool's to lose, and then it was ours to lose, and we were going to walk it, and then suddenly one draw, and it's all different. The reality is Haaland and City look absolutely terrifying. I think there's that debate about who's the top 3. I think Haaland's clearly the best player in the Premier League, if not the world at the moment. And when he's on that form, anything can happen for City. What I would say is I think we are as equipped as we ever have been to go the full distance. We are struggling with injuries up top, but having that defence and ability to score off set pieces or make sure that we keep possession in their third for the majority of the game gives us that best platform. But look, it's going to be close and it's going to be scary. And if City are in it, they usually win it. But I think we're the most equipped. I think we have been in 20 years to do it. So I'd give us the best chance we have in a long time.
Toby, and if you don't do it this year, right, then what? Because I'm talking Arsenal are reluctant to say, the fans are reluctant to say we're going to win the league. I think mostly based upon the psychological side of kind of getting nearly there the last couple of seasons. If you don't win the league this year, then what?
You're absolutely right in terms of what that feels like as a psychology for the club, because the big question there is it depends. If we go and get 102 points but Man City get 103, I'm not sacking the manager that gets 102 points. But equally, if we do sort of see a difficult kind of winter period, and we see some of the times where we saw last season, we can't manage our squad as well as we could, and seeing the same issues, and we do die off, I guess, towards the last few months of the season, then that's a problem. But I do get your point. Like, even if we do get those 102 points in that weird scenario, like, psychologically to get that close, it must be hard. So maybe there's a change of manager that you think, but that's such a high performance area. I guess I'd be looking at, if that was 102 points there or whatever it was, how have we done in the other cups is then where you're looking. So it really depends, but you're absolutely right. There's only so far you can go in a project.
Gyökeres was supposed to be the missing piece to this Arsenal team. Everybody for the last 3 seasons have said Arsenal need a number 9. Now they've got him. I just think it has to be done this year, genuinely. Like, I agree with what you're saying about 102 points, 103, but like, you have to get it done. Genuinely, you have to.
Yeah, look, it's his 5th, 6th year. 1 FA Cup, so this is something that's time to deliver. I think he's got absolutely everything that he needs to do it. We've got a big squad. I think we've got that attack. We can start getting a few of those players back. I think Gyökeres has been very good. I think there's way more to come from him as well. So I'm really excited. He's always been, like, I think, part of like a front 3. I think Havertz being able to rotate would be so great, and I can't wait to have him back as well. And just, I think that opportunity for him to rotate with him, I think, would be that final piece. So I think, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
What's your feeling going into the derby this weekend?
I'm a nervous fan at the best of times, but I think without Gabriel, it's a little bit worrying. But to be honest, if we do have depth in any position in the squad, it's that sort of left defensive area. So we should be fine from that perspective. What I am worried about is the attackers that we have available to us. Thomas Frank and Spurs are very, very good away from home, and that setup tends to struggle to help us. We struggle against that setup a little bit, so we'll see. But you've got to be confident against Spurs at home. So I'm not too worried.